The intellectual history of India reaches a decisive peak in the 10th century with the contributions of Udayanacharya, a philosopher, logician, whose work reconciled the atomistic ontology of Vaisheshika school with the rigorous epistemological method of Nyaya tradition, flourishing in region of Mithila, a historic center of learning in modern-day Bihar. Udayana represents the culmination of old Nyaya and the pivotal transition towards the Nyaya or New Logic school. His primary objective was to establish a robust, realistic framework capable of defending the Vedic corpus and the existence of a permanent self against the increasingly sophisticated critique of Buddhist logicians such as Janan Smriti and Ratnakirti. Through monumental works like Nyaya Kushamanjali and Athamma Viveka, Udayana developed a system of traditional theology and formal logic that remained profoundly relevant today, particularly in the field of expendable artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and the ethics of legal mediation. Udayanacharya, the 11th century master of Mithila, is the pivotal figure who saved Indian realism from the critiques of Buddhist skepticism by syncretizing the logic of Nyaya with the physics of Vaisheshika. He builds an architectural framework for truth that combines how we know with what there is. He didn't just defend tradition, he transformed it into a rigorous independent science of reasoning. For Udayana, the universe is not a void. It is a structured reality of seven categories, from the nine substances like earth and soul to the 24 qualities that define them. Everything is linked by the eternal relation of inherence. Most brilliantly, he included non existence as a category, allowing logic to treat the absence of thing as a verifiable fact, directly countering the Buddhist idea of the world as a mere flux of exclusions. Udayana used the five-membered Nyaya syllogism to ground abstract logic in the physical world. Unlike Western logic, which focuses on formal validity, Nyaya demands an empirical example. When Udayana argues that the earth is an effect, he points to a clay pot as his proof. If a pot needs a potter, a complex world of atoms need an omniscient creator. This is logic that breathes with the evidence of reality. In his masterpiece, the Nyaya Kushamanjali, Udayana offers nine rational proofs for God. He argues that the world is an effect, the inert atoms cannot move themselves, and that even the concept of numbers in the first moment of creation requires a divine mind. This wasn't a call to blind faith, but a challenge to the skeptic to find a more logical explanation for the complexity of the cosmos. Udayana's legacy is the new logic. By perfecting the tools of definition and identifying the logical limits of universals, even anticipating modern set theory, he ensures that the Nyaya tradition would remain the intellectual bedrock of India. He proved that the self is permanent, the world is real, and the reason, when perceived to its ultimate limit, inevitably leads to the divine. The logical system of Udayana represents one of the highest achievements of classical Indian thought. It is a system that refuses to separate the physical from the metaphysics or the logical from the spiritual. By synthesizing the Vaisheshika ontology with the Nyaya epistemology, Udayana created a realistic philosophy that was as robust in its physics as it was in its theology.